the Chief Executive Officer of the Tree Crop Development Authority, has been sharing insight on how the authority plans to scale up production and value addition in Ghana's tree crop industry. He has been speaking to Joy Business's James Eshan.
The Tree Crop Development Authority had been at the center of Ghana's drive that with respect to agriculture export and also boost farmer incomes. I'm joined by the Chief Executive Officer of the Tree Crop Development Authority, Dr. Andy Osei Okra, to help me unpack, what's happening within this space, what lies ahead of him, and the plans with respect to this particular sector. Doc, grateful to have you. Now, let's start. It's been 8 months since you were appointed. How is it going so far?
Thank you very much, James. I would say so far so good. It's been a very interesting journey, a compelling one, and I like challenges, so I could say it's challenging at the same time fulfilling. So far so good.
Now, the big question out there had to do with the mandate of TCDA. There are quite a number of people who seem not to know your mandate, your objectives. Can you run us through what TCDA is all about?
Thank you very much. As you rightly said, it's true. TCDA is a nascent, growing organization, barely 5 years since its existence. TCDA, that is Tree Crop Development Authority, was established by an Act of Parliament, Act 1010 of 2019. And then the authority itself was launched on September 2020. And then further on to 2023, the legislative instrument LI 2471 to operationalize the act was also promulgated. So that is how that short journey has been. And the simple mandate, if I'm to put it, is the Tree Crop Development Authority is set up to regulate and develop the production, the promotion, and the marketing of 6 selected strategic crops that I call it as COMS. COMS in the sense that the first C COMS. The first C is cashew. Second, coconut. Then we come to oil palm. We come to rubber, mango, and shea. That's the 6 selected crops. That's C COMS. I repeat it again: cashew, coconut, oil palm, rubber, mango, and shea. So the Act set these 6 crops and gave the mandate to tree crops to ensure its regulation and development so that Ghana can benefit financially and economically from these 6 selected crops. The reason and the rationale being that over the years, Ghana has depended a lot on cocoa. Cocoa has been our backbone, as you all learn in school. The backbone of agriculture for economy for Ghana is cocoa. And cocoa has done well and continue to do well. But there are other economic essential crops, tree crops we also have in Ghana here. And that's what the framers at that time realized, that we can depend on these 6 crops, and that can also be the game changer for our economy. So the Tree Crop Development Authority was set up to ensure its development and its regulation. So that is our mandate to ensure that in terms of all the actors in these 6 crops, from cashew down to shea, are properly regulated. And if I say regulation, that means you are able to license, register and license them, put structures in there for them, put some environmental and conducive environment for them to thrive, make sure their pricing systems, make sure development in terms of production and productivity goes on. There are several things that goes with that. So that is the mandate. So and when it comes to these 6 crops in Ghana here, then is this authority responsible for its regulation and development.
Since you were appointed, I've seen you go, you've done some number of trips, gone across the country and all of that. Now, one will be wondering, how is this going to contribute to our economy, especially the agricultural space? Also, we understand it's also more or less a way to diversify our export with respect to agriculture produce and all of that. So the question here is, how is this going to contribute to our economy?
Thank you very much. As I've indicated, I think as a country, we have realized that if we diversify and put less of our strength, not only on cocoa, and rather focus on these 6 crops, then it will be the game changer. So one, in terms of food security, cashew is food. They even call it that it's a poor man's food and rich man's business. If you take coconut, all of us drink coconut and eat coconut. If we invest in that, coconut alone can change the financial scheme of the country. Then we come to oil palm. So again, this is real gold. Rubber is another huge industry. Mango, these are the new areas. Shea, as you know, shea butter goes everywhere, and a lot of confectionaries use shea. So if we are able to invest well and get the production, more production and productivity in these 6 selected crops, then obviously it's the economy of the country that is being changed. Because if we are able to, one, add value to them, produce more, and then add value before we export, of course it's going to bring in a lot of forest to the country. It will create a lot of jobs. I mean, look at right from nursery, how to even raise the seedlings down to the final product. It's all jobs across its value chain. So it's an area to be able to expand in terms of job creation and in terms of economic value, money being added to our economy. So if, for instance, we have a strategy that is only looking at if we are able to invest the needed infrastructure, the needed capital into these 6 crops, averagely we think that annually each of these crops should be able to give us $2 billion US. And if we are able to get 2 billion averagely from these 6 crops, we multiply by 6, we have 6 billion annually coming from that. And that alone is huge enough to change the structure of our economy. And that is why we think that we need to focus on the tree crop sector and make sure that people really know that this is an area, an economic area, an agriculture sector that needs to be given attention to create the needed jobs for us, and then the requisite finances that go with it.
Now, what have been the challenges within this space since you took over?
The challenges are huge, as you know. One, people are not aware of the authority. So they don't know that when it comes to these 6 crops, the Tree Crop Development Authority, TCDA, is mandated to regulate and manage and develop. So a lot of people are handling that. And before the emergence of the tree crop, others were handling these crops in their sectors. So now there's lack of coordination. So some are still handling, and then it's not coordinated very well. And what recently we had a policy dialogue to bring all these things to the fore so that people will get to know that when it comes to these 6 selected crops, the place to go and the right authority, the apex authority mandated to do that is the tree crops, where we have to coordinate. And then we can work alone and liaise with the relevant institutions to do that. So in terms of coordination and people getting to know about the authority is key, is a challenge. And we are working hard and harder for people to know about Tree Crops Development Authority and what we are there for. The other one is also about the industry itself. If you take each value chain, we have issues. Take oil palm, for instance. We know oil palm is doing very well. It goes into the final refinery. There are a lot of vegetable oils that we are taking. We only know of them. We think it's only the palm nut soup that we drink, but a lot of things are being done using oil palm. And because of that, there are a lot of influx of vegetable oils illicit ones from neighboring countries, and that is affecting the sector. You could see that people are bringing vegetable oil and then crude oil from other countries through our neighboring borders and gets here, and that comes to flood the market, and that affects the oil palm industry. So the industry is also struggling. That's another. So they are on us, and we are the authority responsible to regulate and then make sure that there's sanity in that. We come to rubber. Okay, rubber too are complaining. Yes, they are not getting enough and are not getting access to the raw material. Something that they are exporting outside the raw cap lamps. So they want it to be bound and all. So several things. So we need to make sure that we get to the people on the ground, understand it, and then see how best we can provide solutions to that. So these are all challenges. You go, the same thing goes to share. The share to go to the north, yes, the women are the biggest pickers, they are picking it, and others are too as exporting, that others are also processing. Then processors think that they are not getting the share. So we need to also stop some people. So we are in a situation where we have to ensure that all the value chain, right from pickers down to the processor, get what they need, and they have to all be in business and they have to be working. So that is what we are dealing with. But what is so good is, I think that what is good is stakeholder engagement. And we have done a lot, and we are going to do more. That will be on the ground. We really understand what the farmers' challenges are and how we can come to their aid and support them. We go to what the traders also need, we go to what exporters also need, and then processors need. So engaging with one another and they coming out with the solutions is what we are focusing on. So these are some of the challenges, apart from the normal getting the needed resources that you need to be able to do that, we are facing. But the real one is the industry players themselves to realize that TCDA is there to regulate. First of all, if you want to play any role, you need to be an actor registered and licensed to do that. So we are drumming home this message for them to know, and then come to our aid, or we'll reach out to them to be able to regularize the system and the industry that they are operating in.
You spoke about the oil palm. I personally come from a farming community, which of course we seem to have some of these problems. How is the authority making sure that since there is an influx of these oil palm into the country, how do you cut that? Are we producing enough to meet the demands out there, or what exactly is the case?
Yes, as you said, Ghana produces almost 400,000 metric tons, or consume 400,000 metric tons of vegetable oils, and out of this, almost 350 is produced here. The deficit of about 150,000 is coming from outside. The industry has the capacity to produce that, but because of the illicit influx of this oil. So TCDA, together with the Oil Palm Development Association of that, and other relevant stakeholders, i.e. the police, immigration, national security, are coming together, and with our sister body, Guta and the rest, we are teaming up to understand that this is about the country, and we need to protect investment, and we need to create jobs. So we need to address this illegal situation. So very soon you'll see, as we are embarking on a lot of education, that first of all, if you are into any oil importation, into any vegetable oil business, a palm oil business, you need to identify yourself with TCDA. We have to register you and give you a license. If you are going to import any oil, you need our permit to be able to do that. So that's the first thing to start with. So if you are not a registered member or a registered actor, you don't have the license to do that, and it's illegal, and the law has to take its course. So we are going to embark, and we are embarking on education to do that. At the same time, then we will also get to where the loopholes are, the borders where people smuggle these things. So together with customs and GRA, together with police, we make sure that these things can curtail. Whilst doing that, then our refineries are able to produce, and then produce and serve the market, so that they continue to create jobs for Ghanaians, and then we'll have sanity in the system. Now the situation we have come to meet, it appears that it's free for all. People who are not registered online, since they are not paying any tax, or because of that, they can bring in their product and sell it cheaper just to disrupt the system. So we need, as a regulator, to ensure that there's fairness and there's sanity in the industry.